Hey everybody, how's it going? So I want to show you the first working version of the GitLab knowledge graph. Specifically, this is the indexer portion of the knowledge graph. And so the knowledge graph is a queryable structured representation of users' code repositories. To dive into this a little bit and what I'm going to be showing you today, what we're going to be doing is indexing the GitLab monolith, which is our benchmark for large repositories. And then I'm going to show you us exploring a little bit of that graph database. So on the left here, you can see I have the database file and also some output. So you know that I'm not cheating. I'm going to go ahead and just delete these files or these folders here. So I'll go ahead and delete them. And then I'm going to pull up my terminal. And in this terminal, I'm going to run the program. So just to show you a little bit of what's going on here. And just to preface, we're only parsing GitLab monolith Ruby files, and we're going to be adding support for JavaScript, Golang, and Python and other languages very soon. But again, the most important part of this update is that we've now established a full end-to-end code path from the GitLab code parser all the way to the indexer. And then now we can actually run queries on the database. So let's go ahead and run this. So I'm going ahead and run this. And so you'll get a sense and feel for the performance of the indexer. So what you just saw here, I'll break down just a little bit. So let's scroll up. You can see the updates here. So this is actually the parsing phase, meaning we're extracting the AST data and the definitions. Only definitions at this time. We're going to be adding support for references and cross-file analysis as well. But right now it's extracting all the definitions out of each of the files. Then it passes it through an analysis phase where it actually builds the graph relationships. So that's what's happening here. And then lastly, what we do is we write these relationships to the Kuzu graph database. And so you can see we created some of the tables here. And then of course, we've actually imported those relationships. And so you can see we finished the indexing in 9 seconds here. We've processed 44,000 files, and we've extracted 200 something thousand nodes and almost 1 million relationships. Again, this is just definitions. So these are very promising results right out of the gate. And so I want to show you what it's going to be like when we actually traverse the graph. So let's go to the graph here. And I'm just going to show you a basic query. So I'm going to go ahead and just run this query. Again, this is on the new database. And so if I run this, simple match on the first 100 nodes that are in the database that I found. And so you can see automatically the GitLab monolith's directory structure. So this is a visual representation of the monolith's directories. And so if we just click on this one here, we can see some of the metadata. And so we can see we're in the app models directory, and we can immediately know that this is a Rails code base, of course. And we can then traverse this graph as well. So we can see here, this directory contains another directory. And this is stuff that we've seen before, right? The beauty of this is that this is at the scale of the monolith. So if I go into tooling directory here and I double click this, we're able to pull out those relationships pretty quickly. And so now we're in the file nodes. And so then if I drill down even more, in this file. So in this case, we're looking at, tooling job.rb. And so if I click this, now we can see all of the definitions in this. So in this case, this is a method. And what's cool is that we can actually query the representation of the definitions as well. So if I click this, we can see that this is a class method. And this class method is a part of this class, which is the tooling API job class. More importantly, the LLM will be able to traverse this relationship through tools. And just to again show you some of the querying speeds at the scale of the monolith, again, this is 40,000 something files. If I want to query, say, a specific module named, hopefully I don't butcher this, but this is Banzai. If I query this, I now have the node here, and I can look into this node and explore all the relationships. And then I can also find all of the module definitions inside of the GitLab monolith. So if I run this, these are all of the modules within the Ruby portion of the monolith. And so I can just open any one of them and look at their relationships, of course. So we can see what file this module is defined in. In this case, it's a Sidekick job options module. So that's pretty cool. And then you're able to perform a little bit more advanced queries. So in this case, I'm looking at some class inheritance here. And so this allows you to perform static analysis at query time. So if I run this, we can now see some of the actual relationships and inheritance throughout the monolith. So this is really cool. And then another one I wanted to show you is, let's say I want to find all the controllers, right, within this Rails code base. I can now run this with a simple query. And so I can run this and I can look at all the various controllers that the GitLab monolith defines, which is very useful for an LLM to traverse. And of course, you could do this with the SQLite database, but the power of this technology comes when we actually add support for references, because then the LLM can traverse those references and those subsequent relationships and get a clearer picture of the GitLab monolith. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this as a quick update. Let me know what you think. Thank you.